Isn't that bad? So I apologize for that. I didn't restart the record button, but I will say it again. This is how to effectively harness the power of your network and your JV with other businesses to expand your customer base and your income. My name is Edna White. I am a CEO of a company. I'm an entrepreneur, an author, a speaker, and a host of a podcast. And I am, again, so excited for you all to be here. So let's just get right into it because it's now 5:06. I am timely and I like to give you a lot of information. So, those of you who are on here, can you tell me or can you put in the chat box what it means to network? What your idea of networking is? And I'll just wait for a couple of minutes. Just put in the chat box, chat in what it means to network, just to network with anybody.
I think it means to, hi, this is Shahida. I think it means to use the people that you are acquainted with as a resource to your business endeavors.
Okay, good. And I see Terry also said connect. That's wonderful. That's great.
That's a much
But
simpler way of saying it, and that kind of encompasses what I said.
yeah, well, that's good. All of it's good. But let me just tell you,
I'm just very wordy.
we all are. You know, we can all of us could chat. Let me just say, but it's more than connecting. It's more than that because your first substantive contact with someone is your connection, right? So how do you connect with somebody? How do you make it so simple that you connect with somebody? Terry, say hi. No, that's not a connection.
I guess find out what their platform is, because I'm actually struggling with this in LinkedIn by being bombarded by messages. And actually, somebody schooled me over the weekend and told me, no, this is what you do. First of all, find out why you're on LinkedIn, what you're looking for on there. Because I do a lot of things, but what am I going to use that platform for? And then he said, every time I connect with somebody, see how they fit in with that agenda, which I wasn't doing. I was just blindly just accepting people, which got crazy.
Okay, so connection, you're right about that a little bit, but connection is, and what I learned in school of real estate. So I learned about who their dog is, what their dog's name is, what their children's names are, and then I find a commonality that we are connected. So if we have children, guess what I talk about? My children. If we have a dog, guess what I talk about? I remember their dog's name, and I bring it in, and this is what we talk about: is the dogs. So it's more than saying hi. It's finding a connection that they don't forget you. Okay, it's finding that commonality that they'll remember. Say, oh, remember that girl with that dog, the small tiny dog that's only 4 pounds? She does dot 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 dot. You want to be able that they pick you out of everyone else, because we meet 3,000 people a year. We meet 3,000. We may not feel like we do, but we meet 3,000 people a year and we make a connection with them. But we don't follow up after that. So what networking is all of that, is connecting more so than a hi, more so than passing your card out, but making a connection. And then the follow through is a call to them. Hey, you remember me, the one with the dog, the 4-pound dog? Just wanted to connect with you to say, bop, 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 bop. How you doing? You know? And then follow through is, guess what? What's follow up? No, I did follow through. What's follow up? What do you think follow up is?
it would be reconnecting, making the contact again. I guess to rehash what you guys discussed in the previous exchange.
Right. It would be following up and actually having a conversation on our next steps to become joint ventures. So, what are joint ventures? First, you have networking, right? So, you're networking with someone or some people. Let's say you go to a networking event and there's thousands of people in the room. Either it's virtually or it's in person, and there's thousands of people in the room. Do you give out all your cards to all of the people? We've done so in the past, but what does it bring you? Probably nothing, because they don't remember you. So in order to network effectively, the first thing you have to do is, number one, find out who your ideal partner is. So is it people that work in hotels? Now, remember, when I say ideal, I mean those that are going to create money for you, not those that you feel a compassion for or you want to serve. I'm talking about those JV partners and networking partners are those that can give you financing, sponsorships, that can give you stuff, that can provide you stuff. Those are ideal partnering clients. Those are those people, okay? Make a list. It could up to 10 people, okay? If you are like, okay, let me use myself. I am a life coach. So my ideal clients would be Target, would be Walmart, would be hospitals, would be therapists, and I'm going down the line, the highest to the lowest. So you make a list of your ideal partnering or JV clients. Those are the ones that you're supposed to be focusing on, because low-lying fruit does not help you if it's low-lying. You only want to go up the tree to help everyone. Does that make sense? So who has the money to help you? Those at the top. So you always want to reach the top. Your message always wants to reach the top. When you go to networking events, you always want to speak to the person that makes the decisions, the money decisions. So if you're reaching out to the healthcare industry, who's making this decisions? Are you talking to someone who's a worker, or are you talking to the executive director? Who are you talking to? You have to make sure that you're networking with the right person that makes the decisions. And when you're networking with them, you're making it so that you are so memorable that they can't help but to send you business. So and how does that work? How does that look? You know what it looks like? It looks like everything is about them, not about you. So it means closing your mouth, saying a little verb, like a little blurb about yourself, and saying, this is what I do, making it so poignant that they remember. I'll say, I create strategies for those who are stuck and want to be unstuck. And I also work with entrepreneurs, right? So they'll ask me a couple of questions. I don't talk about me much. What do you do? And I'll keep asking them questions, right? When you network, you're not the object. They are. You focus on them, you take mental notes, and what's the best thing you could do for someone when you're networking? I need to hear this from you guys. What's the best thing you can do when you are networking with someone? What's the best thing you can ever do for them that makes them feel amazing? Does anybody know?
I'm sorry, you were breaking up, so can
Okay.
Repeat it for me.
What's the best thing that you could do for someone when you are networking that they love? Compliment.
Tell
Hmm.
them, oh, compliments. Oh, I was about to say, say, let them know that you know about them, you know about their accomplishments and stuff like
Okay.
that you've done your, just like a interview, like that you've done your background work and that they will worthy, you know, of research for you.
Okay. No. The best thing you could do is call their name. If you see their name tag, you call their name. Edna, you know, I'm having this issue. Da 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 da. Edna, did you mean to say that you got a dog named Cooper? Edna, you're saying their name. Why? Because that brings them in. It makes them trust you. It makes them trust you that you know who they are. When I go grocery shopping, I make sure when I get it on the line, I look at the person's name on their tag because that's a hard position, and they get the raw end of everything. And I look at their tag and I say, "Hello, so and so," and then "Thank you, so and so," and they look at me like, "You know my name?" And they are more inclined to say, "Thank you," and you could feel it. So when you're networking, number one thing is to remember to say the person's name because it makes them relevant. Okay. So we're still talking about networking. Now, networking is more than, again, handing them the card. It's more than handing them the card. It's actually starting to build a relationship. All right. On the things that are familiar to you. I have people who are on my network who are my friends, right? Because I remember their names. And guess what else I did? Guess there's one important factor with networking that we do so wrong. And I don't want to use a lot of wrong stuff, but I see it every day. What is it that we don't do? What do you guys think?
It's probably right there for us. We're just not into it.
Okay, so what we don't do is stay connected. We connect, but we don't stay connected. How we use our network, if we're not connecting with people that okay, so say if you met somebody last month, are you connecting with them this month? Probably not. Only when you
Yeah,
need
no.
them. Only when you need them. So you don't want to use people, you want to build on the relationship. So 5 calls a week is what you're supposed to be making. In order for you to have a great customer base, you should be making calls to the agencies, to the corporations, to the people that you want to spread the word about you. If you're not making those calls, you're working in the business and not on it. You're not building a business. You're in there in the trenches, and it's going to end up that you're going to struggle all the way up. You want to work on the business. And when I say on it, means you have the foundational pieces, right? But you're not making it's still after 5 years, it's still the foundation. What about putting the door up? What about putting the windows up? What about putting the walls up? You're not doing the things that you need to do to work on the business. That's important. When you're networking, you're building on the business. How word of mouth works for you is that you're working on the business, that you are literally making those 5 calls. So I did say that we know 3,000 people, right? I'm not going to make you all do that. I'm not going to make you call 3,000 people. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you, pull up your list of 3,000 people, or even 100. Pull it up and start making calls and saying, hey, you remember me? The lady with the 4-pound dog? And he's like, I'm a life purpose coach, and I want to work with you. Tell you what I can do. This is what I can do. I can help you make things better for your employees. That's my schmeal to McDonald's, So they're like, what? You can help me? Sure, I can. You have to put the spin on for yourself, how you are. I've seen a lot of my clients go in with a long resume of what they did, what they do, their credentials. That's not helping them. Networking is connecting on what makes them happy and what makes them have pain, because then you're the solution. So what is it? If you're a restaurateur, you say, oh, well, they have pain of not wanting to cook on Friday, so I'm the solution, right? Simple, right? If I'm a life coach, I help people get unstuck and get out of their own way. I solve the pain of them moving forward. Simple, right? If I'm an organization like Terry has that serves, the populations that are underserved, guess what I do? I look to get the companies and befriend the companies that can make changes. We're always used to working with those that we want to serve, but we have to step above that, because then we get the sponsorships, we get the items, the things that we need. We get all of that. Don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid. It's there. So if you want to create an event, or you want to have, let's say, clothing for I'll stay with Terry. If you want to have clothing for your people, right? Those that you serve, and say you have a couple gentlemen that need clothing for job interviews. Where are you going to go? The first thought is, let me go to a thrift store. Why? When you can go to Neiman Marcus, you can go to Macy's, you can do all those things. And all you have to do is ask. There's no criteria. You just have to ask. Why not? Right? And as simple as that. And if you want that information on how to do that, I'll send it to you, and we'll work together to do that. It's not hard. Neiman Marcus always gives away brand new clothing. They give away 10 to 20 suits to whoever's doing community work, like yourself. But I cover that in another class, so I don't want to get that started with that. Okay, so let's get back to networking. So, and then you're going to use in all of that, if you need something, you're going to use your network. So you always use your network. Who do you know that can get you what you need, right? So we'll stay with Terry. She needs some clothing for her guys who are going to get a job and they need clothing. She will look to her network to do that. She will always go to her network and pull out, okay, I need this, and this. So she will either call or she will email, and she gets what she needs. If you're building a relationship, it's easy. If you are not building a relationship, it's hard, because, everybody like, well, I got to find out about this. I got to find out about that. But if you're making the connections on a monthly basis, and if you're staying in their mind and you're sending emails and you're saying, hey, I'm working on my business, not in it, inside doing all the trench work, but I'm working on it. I'm building a tribe of people that can help me make my job a lot easier. See, networking makes your job a lot easier. Easy. Because what happens is when you're building on the relationships with the people that you know, right? Or you've met, you bring about this TNT effect. And what happens? What is that? That's traffic, nurture, and transactions. That's all it is. The TNT, it's explosive. Traffic, because people are going to remember you and say, hey, I remember this lady, and she got that 4-pound dog and she's a life coach. My son needs that help. I know I can do that. I can connect with her. Oh, I think she's on LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever it is. They're going to remember. They're going to track you down. What you want to do is have people track you down and you not track them down. That's the object of working as a networker, building that relationship. You don't need to track anybody down because they're always going to tell somebody. You're going to create ambassadors. They're always going to tell somebody about you. Again, working on your business, not in it. They're always going to tell somebody about you. They're always going to say great things about you. They're always going to send somebody your way. They're always going to make sure that there's an opportunity, there's sponsorships, there's money, whatever it is, it's coming your way. That's the network. That's how you network. Again, if you're not making those 5 calls or those 5 or 10 emails, not 5, but 10 emails per week to someone just to say, hey, I'm here, when can we chat together and talk about things? If you're not doing that, you're doing your business a big disservice. Okay? You're not building relationships. I would say you're actually hurting yourself when you do that. It's almost like you're desperate. You got to pull, from the pool of people and say, and they may say no, it may give you a hard time, right? And I know some of us have experienced it. Is like when I wasn't in touch with anybody, and they were like, oh, well, I haven't heard from you. Like they're saying it in their brains, but they're making up excuses, saying, I got to talk to so-and-so, and, So to recap, write a list of who your ideal network partners are. Who you network the best. Who is your ideal person to network? Write a list up to 10, 1 to 10. Those are the people you're going to focus on. Those are the people you're going to focus on your social media. Those are on your LinkedIn. Those are the people that you're going to connect. Those are the people you're going to go through your contacts and say, okay, pull them out. Yeah. If I got, Peconic Hospital. Yeah. If I got Northwell. Yeah. All the decision makers, pull them out. You pull them all out so that you're making sure that you're going to be having a conversation with them and you're going to be building on it. You're going to really be building on that list along the way, but you're making sure that you are remembered by them and they're going to become your ambassadors. I learned this in the real estate school. So like when I had a client, when I would get a client, someone they're selling a home, or even someone who was like an inspector, I would go there with a cup of coffee and swoon them. I think that's the word, right? You would swoon them and like they would remember you. But that's kindness, you know what I'm saying? So they remember you because of your kindness, or they remember you because you remembered something about them. In networking, again, I'm gonna say, in summarizing, it's not all about you. It's about what you can give and solve for the other person. What do you solve for the other person? And if you're in an organization that is a nonprofit, you have to look at the high, not the low-lying fruit. Yes, that's who you serve, you want to serve, but you want to get the decision maker so that you can get all the sponsorships, the money, all those things that can pull that down for you. And that can connect you to the TNT, the traffic, how you nurture a person, and then how to get them to do a transaction with you. You want to bring all of that in. Okay. Now, does anybody have any questions on that? I'd love to hear it because I'm going to get to the good, exciting part in a minute.
I had my hand up because it just goes back to what you were saying before. Long
Yes.
story short, why I am actually on is because my son has decided to do his own not-for-profit, and he's
Okay.
going to provide veterans, senior citizens, and people with disabilities with lawn services and snow shoveling at
Okay.
$20 a person, just for gas money to get like the parents to drive you back and forth, yada yada, till he gets grant funding. But
Okay.
my question to you is, do I help him to network with people because he doesn't know? He's 15, so he doesn't know. Or is it better coming from him to make the calls? Or
Okay.
I'm lost in that direction.
Okay. So for you, to be honest, let them. I know I let them, because when they build that relationship, they're building it on their personality.
Mm-hmm.
And that develops a whole lot of confidence and experience for them that I will tell you is priceless. I did the same exact thing with my sons. They were mowing lawns and cleaning seniors, grass and all of that, and it built confidence in them. And then when they made the relationships, they were talking to them about stuff I didn't even know. They were sharing. They became mentors to them. So I will tell you, get him involved in like there's a program, I believe, in every town that's senior and young person. With the library. It's with the library, and
Nice.
senior young people, and they put them together. Add his name to that, because then he will be able to connect with the library. If he has services, they'll send his information. Okay.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I would say let him build the relationships, because he's got a long while. He's got a long while.
Yeah, this is going to be a big undertaking. We really want to get the grant funding for it, and I want him to connect with certain philanthropists that I know of.
Right.
And, but I think maybe it's better coming from him. But then I was like, maybe that's not appropriate.
It's coming from him, and don't disqualify. Get him involved in every senior organization there is. Put his information, tell him to put his information out to the town. I don't know what town you're in. Whatever town it is, put your information, contact them, the person who is in control, and say, listen, I know that you have a senior program for fixing things up. I am a young teen, and I want to offer my services, and this is how much they are. They will do that. So whatever town it is, if you're in Islip, whatever it is, town of Brookhaven, they will do that. But you got to get to the decision maker, the one that makes the decision.
Okay. Now it's like more clear to me that way, understanding it like that. And then he also has the second component to it, is that he's gathering up his little friend pod in his own school. He goes to St. John the Baptist in his own school, but I'd like him to branch out to other schools and maybe like scouting organizations, because he's telling the kids, like, this is good for us to basically volunteer to be doing the lawns and the shoveling. But we're getting exercise. So you look at it like, you're Rocky Balboa. You're going to use Siberia and tires and, whatever you got to do, you get your exercise, you're helping people. It's like a win-win. And, and your parents don't get mad because they're getting $20 for gas.
Right. So I would say that, that's a great, to partner with larger companies. That idea Maybe we can kind of get together, kind of like put it together. The idea of, like, say, working with Walmart when it's snowing and they have, I don't know, what are those things? I don't use them anymore. Shovels.
Yes.
You know, something like that. Your local True Value, if there's any left. Why not?
Right. Yes.
Partner with them. Why not partner with them? Hey, we got a young kid here that's doing this for the seniors. I'm sure people, older people walk into True Value. Home Depot, the same thing. Make the relationships with the decision makers there, because they're always looking to do something with the community. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
That would be a you know, something that you can do. The shovels, I said, you know, something that I don't do anymore.
But he got a lot of equipment from somebody. He got 2 Briggs and Stratton lawnmowers, you know, 2 snow blowers and 2 blower blowers. So he's starting.
The person he spoke to, right?
Yes.
Go back to him and say, hey, do you know any seniors in that list of people that you were working with? Okay. Go back to them, because they're ambassadors for them. That's financing in a way, you know what I'm saying? Because they can give the list of all the people. He can just go. So don't dispel whoever he got the stuff from. Go right back to him and get that.
So you're saying to keep people in the loop, no matter what, like even
don't
if
lose the person who, especially the person who gave him the equipment. They know people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They know somebody. So go back to them, even if you have to go with him and teach him along the way to kind of speak to them. You know, hey, we started this nonprofit. You tell them we started this nonprofit for seniors. Since you gave me the equipment, thank you for that. I know you know some people. Can you like share with us that information?
Yes, thank you.
Just always ask. Don't ever let anyone go.
I'm writing it all down. I'm writing it down. Yes.
Okay, don't let anyone go. Don't let anyone go, because they can be an ambassador for you. That's what you want out of this whole networking thing. You want your customer base to grow. That is a client for you. That person that you bought the equipment from is a client. Don't ever forget that. They're a client. They're not a customer. They're a client, because they can share your information with other people. Okay.
Now, when you encounter other people that you know are networking with you, do you know it because you know all the phases, you know what they're going to ask, you know, you've been to all these different webinars and stuff, and you know it, you know that it's not a game, it's serious, it's networking.
Right, sure.
So you're very serious about that. But how do you when you encounter somebody like that, does it irritate you at all, or you're happy that they're doing what they're supposed to do the right way to build their business?
I'm actually happy, because I don't have to placate with them. So I know that, okay, so when I'm going into a networking event, I know what I'm doing.
Right.
So they don't dissuade me either way. Like, so I know I have my 10 people who I'm networking with. I don't network with everybody. I say hello, but I don't network with them. Meaning I don't stop and have a conversation and exchange cards and make plans to talk. I don't do that with everyone. I don't even pass my card to everyone. I say hello, but I don't give my card to everyone, because it's may not be a good match. So if they're not on my list, let's say if I go to a networking event like the one that's coming on the Women's Expo, and I go and there's a roofing person there, I have to think about, what would the roofing person be able to network or be an ambassador for me? How could a roofing person take my life coaching business or your business itself to another level? If they can't, you're not giving your card to them. You're moving on.
Right.
Does that make
so you
sense?
try to think of all the ways that you might fit in with them, and they might fit in with you.
Because the reason why you write the list is to know who you're really dealing with and why you're dealing with them. So if you go into a networking event and everybody the 10 people you put on is at that list, you're going to be giving out 10 cards. But how long do you think you should be talking to somebody before you know that they're going to be someone you can work with?
10 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Each person should be.
I definitely said shorter.
Each person should be 5 minutes. And how many minutes should you be talking?
Wow. 4 out of the 5. I know 1 out of the 5.
2 minutes.
2
60 minute speech, 60-second speech, and connecting with them on what they know. So, hey, repeating back what they said to you. That's it. That's it. That really is it, because you want to make a connection with them. How do people connect with you? Not from listening to your stuff, but when you feed back what they said to you, and because it means something.
So then you must appreciate people that know what they're doing when they're networking. Right. That's appreciative one. Yes. Okay, so when you come upon somebody that doesn't know, how do you cut down the conversation? I have problems with that. Well,
okay, so you and me are not the same, Terry, because you're nicer than me.
Oh no, I just don't know I don't know how to do it.
So when you come upon somebody that isn't fit for you, mm-hmm. There's a reason why. Okay, why did you come upon them? Did you have a conversation? Did you say hi and then they started talking to you? How did it start that you started having a conversation? Because that's 2 ways. What happened before that?
Right. Well, say somebody comes up to you in the networking night,
right,
and they want to talk to you, and you just don't know how to get out of it.
About what though? About what?
Okay. So they want to network with you about their business and say they want to loop you into whatever they're doing.
Okay. So are you taking control of okay, so if somebody comes up to me and says, hey, Edna, I got a roofing business. I had this happen to me. I have a roofing business, and they just came and shoved the card on me, and I was quiet. Mm-hmm. And he shoved the card. He talked, shoved the card. I put the card down, and I walked away. But that's me. Don't do me. First of all, that's rude. And that's insensitive to, you're not networking. That's just doing what we're trying not to do anymore. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So a person that comes up to you and starts talking, hey, how you doing? I'm so-and-so, and they start talking, and I go like this, breathe. I'm a life coach. Breathe. My organization is, you have to find a way to get in. And it's all about you. I'll say, breathe. I'm a life coach. I'll say something like that and get them off of themselves, because that's really what it is. It's they're on themselves, and they're talking. They don't take a breath. It's just, and that's not networking. That's making it obvious that you don't talk to other adults. That's really what it is you don't have adult time. So when you come to networking events, we're all fair game. Okay. Right. So when you come upon someone, you have to use your creativity and your humor to stop it.
Okay.
Okay. So that you're not held hostage in any situation.
All right. I would be held hostage the whole night.
Then Terry, you got to find a way to stop them. Say, you know what? Yeah, you need to. Hey, yeah, I heard what you said. What's your name? Oh, that's right, girl. Yeah, you got to break it. You got to come in the way you can. Don't allow, because what they're doing is dumping. They're not even networking. They're dumping. They're not even networking. They're dumping. So you don't want to do that. You want to spend 5 minutes with a person to get their information, to make that connection, and to, at the end of it, have a date that you're going to talk to each other. that
So you
want to.
bringing humor, it will not make me rude.
No, no, not at all. I'll say, Style, I'm a life coach, and
Right.
breathe or something like that. I bring
Yeah.
it in. I bring the humor in because everyone thinks that networking is very serious when it's not. It's
Hmm.
connection. Connection is humanism. Humanism is finding all of you.
Yes,
Your humor, your creativity, even your sarcasm is part of networking.
you're right.
I know somebody who's I didn't like him because he was so sarcastic, and not until I really networked with him that I was like, oh, this guy's funny. This
Right.
guy's really funny, and he refers me to people all the time.
Hmm.
Because I didn't take the time to network with him, really talk to him, sit down and talk to him. And that's made a big difference. Made a big difference.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. So I have 10 minutes, maybe a little bit more, maybe 15 minutes now to talk about joint ventures. So in networking, you have to now have joint ventures. So I know in some of our businesses, because we've created them and we put in the blood, sweat, and tears that this is our business. This is ours, right? We feel like that. We like, oh, this is my business. I don't want nobody coming in and obstruct what's going on. But in order to work really smart, you got to have joint ventures. You gotta. I have a joint venture that's coming up, I think next year, with Build-A-Bear. Why is that important? Because their famousness and my non-famousness makes us compatible. So doing an event with someone like that pulls you into an area that now it makes things different. It brings about opportunity. So joint ventures, right, are very important. That means, again, going to your list. Who are your ideal people? And let's take Target. Okay. Let's say we'll go back to Terry because I know Terry's business really. So Terry, I'm sorry. We'll use her business. She serves the underserved who are homeless, okay, and in the street. Now, if we work with that and we go to Target and say, Target, I'm doing an event, okay, for the homeless. I need shoes. I don't know. Just say something arbitrary. Let's just do socks. Socks and underwear. The homeless don't always have that. Socks and underwear. Can I count on your participation? I'm not going to ask for 100 because I know they're not going to give it to me. So we need 10, 10, I don't know, socks and underwear. Can you provide that for us? And we will put your name up. We will put your name in our event. We will do whatever we need to do. We will publicize you. It works. That's what they want. This is like, or say, this is a first time event. You've ever done socks and underwear or, undergarments beware or something like that. We make up a title. It's the first time it's ever been done. And guess what happens? It opens an opportunity for you. Not only with Target, but with Walmart, but with this one, with that one. It opens up an avenue, not just one area. Then you can say, oh, well, the next move you make is, Walmart, Target is joining us and they gave us 10 packs of underwear. How many can you do? Again, that's what we're doing. We're talking to the decision maker. Who is that? The manager. Guess what the manager wants to have? Publicity, that they're doing something for the community. They want that. Joint ventures like that are important. Again, it doesn't have to be that high. It could be lower. So me and Terry could do something because I'm in the real estate industry. I can pull all the real estate brokers together, right? And say, okay, Terry, we're going to help house some people. You bring these people, we're going to call it Hope for the Homeless. Real estate agents doing their part, and which Terry's going to bring all the homeless there. She's going to make sure they're in the building so they can get services. They're going to make sure that other resources are there so they can get services, right? That's how a joint venture works. Pulling my resources and your resources together, knowing where we both are and being very creative in doing it, and bringing in the heavy hitters. Now, I know that some organizations may not be something that you want to use, maybe like Budweiser, or what's the other place? Like one of the wineries. They give away a lot of money, but you can still mention them as participants. We don't use them because we don't think about it. Because we kind of think, and I'm picking on Terry still. We kind of think, well, a lot of our people that we serve are alcoholics. We don't want that involved, but they actually give a lot of money. We can mention them and say this. They gave this part. They don't have to give the item, but they can give some money. So around in your community is some JV partners. Around in your community is JV partners. Now, you say, Edna, how do I get that list? If you're in Suffolk County, the Miller Business Center, if you call up Alex Blend, his name is Alex Blend. You call him up, and I don't know if any of you know him, but you call him up and you say, I need a list of all the businesses, let's say all the corporations in my area, 1 mile radius, 2 mile radius, 10 mile radius. He will give you a spreadsheet with the phone numbers, who the decision maker is, how many employees they have, the phone, does it phone number, emails of those people. That's where you start.
Okay, who is this you say?
His name, okay, it's the Miller Business Center. The director is Elizabeth Malafi, Maliff. The person that takes care of that part that I'm talking about, that gives you the list, is Alex Blend, Blend. He will send you by email a spreadsheet of all, wherever your business is or wherever you want to cover, all that area, whether it be 1 mile, 2 miles, 3 miles, 10 miles. He will send that to you. That's where you start to get those JV partners. Okay? That's an easier position to kind of start getting out there and getting known by the heavy hitters. Okay? That's the easier part. The next easier part is, well, I don't know if it's easy. It's a little bit more work, is meetups. No one facilitates meetup. So you go on Meetup, you know that website, right? Meetup, and I know a lot of us probably have the subscription where you sign up for it. But you go on there and say your specialty is homeless, right? Well, I'm still picking on Terry. And you put the word in homeless, right? It comes up with all of these meetup groups and their organizers. Well, guess what you do with that? You connect with the organizers. You connect with the organizers, simple as that. Just connect with them. Hey, I want to do an event, or hey, I'm reaching out because this is what I do. I would love to have a phone call with you. That's what you want to say. I would love to have a phone call with you. Now, I know you're going to say, oh, Edna, this is too much, too busy. Now, I love Calendly. That's a great spot to kind of send them the thing and put it on your calendar. You don't ever forget. I love that. I love Google, Google Calendar, same thing. I love using that. I would say, okay, I got a question. Okay. I would say use those, but Meetup is not just dating. No, girl, it's everything. It's everything. Now, so if you were a dating coach, you just put the word dating in and it pull up everything. You contacted the organizer and start a conversation and get a call with them. If you're in real estate like I am, put the word real estate right in the site and it pulls up all the meetings that were ever real estate. No one utilizes that, maybe except for me. And I connect with people there and I get my calls from there. The other site is Alignable. Alignable, connect with people, just put out, I want to connect with you. Working with the homeless. I'm still speaking with Terry. I'm working with the homeless. I need, to connect with people. Guess what? 15 to 30 contacts. Guess what you have? Now you have more people. Now you have more resources. Now you have a bigger database to work with. Do I use Nextdoor? Yes, I use Nextdoor. It's tricky with Nextdoor. Nextdoor is more outright, just in the area. It's a little closer in. If I want to expand, because I know, Terry, if you're thinking about using Nextdoor, it's really for things that you need right now. So if you need a pair of shoes for a client, it's for right now. Nextdoor is more of that. This is more expansive. The Alignable, the Meetup is more broad. It's for joint ventures. It's more for joint ventures, not for getting something immediate in the right now. Joint ventures are for something that you want to build on and you want to create a large event or whatever it is, or obtain some product or sponsorship or funding. That's what the joint ventures are for. So if you connect with M&T Bank, you can ask them for $1,000 for one of your events. Guess what they do? Both of you on this call should be connecting, because both of you, I think, have nonprofits, should be connecting on your list of 1 to 10. Your ideal clients should be banks in your area. Should be banks. No questions asked. Should be banks. And if you're not calling banks, if you're not dealing with banks and not dealing with the head guy who gives out the money, you're doing yourself a disservice, because you are a nonprofit. You're working in your business and not on it. That's where your money comes from. Your money comes from sponsorships. It comes from the donations from those banks. And you can serve your clientele a lot better. So banks, number one. So remember, when you call Alex, I want the list, okay, of banks, whatever it is. I want the list of banks. I want the list of corporations, whatever it is. You're going to be making that connection. All right. Those are your joint ventures. Those are your joint ventures that make you, solidify you in the community, that give you the backing you need to do what you need to do. Does that make sense? Okay. So now, what do you do after you do the joint ventures and you do the networking? What do you do after all of that? What do you do? Because we're almost at the end. But what do we do with all of that? Now that we've created the connection and we've really got that great connection, now we followed up, we followed through, we followed up. Now what do you do? Do we know? What do we do?
What do we do after the joint venture is complete?
Yeah. What do we do? Well, no, once we do the follow-up, what do we do? What do we do after that? After we did the follow-up And even if we do the
Plan a
networking and
collaboration.
yeah, we created that. But what do we do in the meantime of that? Remember I said TNT.
Traffic, nurture, and transaction.
Okay, so what are we doing? What letter are we doing after we do all of that? When we get the connection, when we do all the other stuff and follow up, huh?
Mm-hmm. So the connection, making the connection would be the traffic, in other words.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then nurturing would be following up.
Right. And
then transactions would be actually meeting to do the transfer of whatever it is, services, goods.
Right. Or the event or whatever it is. So what do we do after that? Right. So what do we do after that?
Follow up with another or do we put it over to our calendar for next month? I don't know. Follow up with another call to thank them.
No, what we do is we connect with them on social media and say, hey, thanks for talking to us, thanks for talking to us. We're going to do great things. Connect with them. Make sure that you're building a tribe. So those people are important, because if you don't friend them on all your social media, wherever you get them from, no matter where you get them from, if it's LinkedIn, wherever you get it from, you want to make sure that they know that you're appreciative of them. Because guess what they do next year without you asking? Give.
Right.
Without you asking, they give.
They'll think of you. They'll think of you and ask something.
That is correct. You're always going to include them. So, and I know you will probably see me do this a lot, is I always tag another company in my posts. I always tag another company.
Yeah.
So I always keep that flowing, because I want them to know, guess what? That you were part of whatever this is, you're part of that. And I thank you for that. So what we tend not to do is appreciate who we're tribing. We're tribing people, but we're not appreciating them. Right. Okay. So make sure you're always, again, working on your business to keep it alive. Because if you're not appreciating people, guess what happens? Everything depreciates. This is all what matters. You're a CEO, and a CEO does the things that have to do with CEO work. You're the chairperson of how everything goes. And the phrase, sow the head, sow the tail. So if you're willy-nilly, guess what's happening? The tail is doing what? Willy-nilly. But if you're focused and you're aligned, everything else lines right up with it. And the object of a CEO is to be about the business of the business, not working in it, being brave enough to assign other folks. Say, hey, you do that. Hey, you do that. Hey, you do that. I'm not doing everything. I'm doing the things that are going to put us on top. So that's what a CEO does. That's what networking is about. That's what finding those JV partners are about. And I think we're at the end of our time. Well, 6:05. So what I'll do now is, if you have any questions, I'll leave a space for Q&A, and that's it. So Q&A time. Any questions? Gary, I know you appreciate it. Thank you. No other questions?
I was driving when you gave the information about The person, I don't know if you could put it in the chat or
What
repeat it.
person? Which
Person about the businesses that gives the spreadsheet.
Oh, you just want Alex Blend. Okay, sure. Yep, I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, do you see it there? His name is Alex Blend. He's a marvelous person. Marvelous. Marvelous. And he can provide you that information. If that,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome. If that's all the questions, I hope that this was beneficial to you. And I almost went into the other part of like what the next class is about with the money. I almost went into that, sorry. But thank you all. And if you all need any help, please feel free to reach out to me. My number is 631-295-8631. If you need anything as far as these joint ventures or the networking part, by all means. The next class is at 7. Okay. Thank you all very much. And
Okay, thank you.
I hope